Just like Dani, people would do anything to be seen, from their lifestyle to their career. Are influencers, vloggers, and clout chasers the inspiration behind Hulu's Not Okay? Keep watching to find out. Influencers trending fashion. Trends were a thing until TikTok happened, and now it's more like a lifestyle. Everyone feels the need to create, to show, to be accepted, and with a platform like TikTok, what can go wrong? Whatever weirdness gets on there instantly becomes a sensation and goes viral just as quickly. Although there are many good and healthy tips to learn and pick from, the influence can be overwhelming and addicting. That was what the writer and director of Not Okay, Quinn Shepherd, saw before bringing the show to life. She even derived some cool fast fashion trends from TikTok for the main character, Dani Sanders. Quinn started the show by telling the world that Dani can't decide or choose for herself, except she goes online to see what's trending. Quinn said, "I wanted her lifestyle to always feel like she was digesting everything around her and throwing it all together rather than coming from a genuine place." She described how she immersed herself in the world of celebrities and influencers by spending a lot of time on TikTok and Instagram. At the end of the day, she was able to build Dani as that girl who picks different shades of color and styles from different designers to make up her own person. And like everything in the media, there's a downside here. They knew that by the time the film would come out, most of the fashion trends adapted during filming would have passed by. But luckily, many influencers praised the show for the in vogue costumes. Quinn used that to pass a message as well. Why make things cool for a month just to dump them? Well, that's sort of the reason they're called trends. Distracting feeds. There are a lot of distractions going around on social media. The internet rushes at us and we consume every bit of information available. From breaking bad news happening to another event brewing up at the same time. Quinn started working on Not Okay in 2018. She started to see many documentaries about scammers trending after she started. From Anna Delvey to Caroline Calloway's story to YouTube documentaries with Jeffree Star and James Charles and many others. It became clear that this was the season when people used the internet for selfish purposes. Things also went quickly to horrible shootings, and Quinn wondered how so many things could happen at once and what kind of story it could be. She talked about the sad school shootings and the Trump drama happening all at once when she said, "No one would ever think to put these two things in a movie together, but that's actually the reality that we live in every single day when we check our phones." Quinn continued her chat by saying the way toxic news and trending topics were coming from all corners of social media inspired her to put it all together in Not Okay. In the chat, she said, "You go on Twitter and it's a headline about James Charles next to a headline about a mass shooting, and that's what we've all accepted as our reality." All these social media feeds coming at Quinn prompted her to challenge herself to make the film. It's so scary how the world doesn't recognize how this feeds them. Before you recover from one, another is rushing to grab you, which isn't healthy. Hopefully, Not Okay gets the message across that people can take a break to live a little away from the media. Inspiration from Korean films. In her search to make the most groundbreaking thriller, Quinn looked into many films for inspiration. She mentioned, "I was really impacted by Korean thrillers for this. It seems like a strange reference, but there is a fear to the movie." Even though some critics have mentioned how Not Okay is like a new age horror film, she defended that by saying she was only trying to keep the tension and humor together in one piece. She talked about her favorite cinematographer when she said, "I also looked at a lot of Chung Hoon Chung cinematography, even in some of his American works like Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, and there's so much ingenuity in the cinematography." Quinn was endeared to Korean thrillers some years ago, and she said it was part of the phase that prepared her for Not Okay. If you're a fan of Korean thrillers, you'd understand how a film can have horror, feelings, lessons, and humor all in one piece. The tension derived from watching such shows is evident in Not Okay, and it suggests how crazy the world of wanting to trend is so dangerous. It was just like how Dani continued to lie that she was a survivor for attention seeking. Dangerous situations aren't meant to be taken advantage of. You can never tell what will happen next, and Quinn is able to pass that message. According to the way Not Okay is written, no desperate attention seeking ends well. It didn't happen for Dani either. Consultation with trauma specialists. Dani's continuous need to learn from survivors and to be able to have her story together kept her diving deeper into her lies. This shifted her to join a survivor group where she pretends to be experiencing trauma just like the others. She went as far as to become friends with a survivor from the group who was grieving the loss of her sister. Quinn even had to work with trauma consultants. She explained this by saying, "I really hoped that I would navigate them all right, but to make sure that I was doing so, I did vet the script with a number of people, including a trauma consultant. Topics like trauma are very sensitive and can't just be thrown around carelessly. And to make sure it was taken care of the right way, she needed help." She explained how challenging and scary it was when she tried to balance humor with trauma. Quinn wanted everyone who saw Not Okay to see how the film handled the balance without hurting or making light of people's experiences. Uncomfortable and relatable character. It's easy for female fans to liken themselves to a successful protagonist who has it all together, life and career. But Dani was different, as she was set up for hatred. Her life was set up as unorganized, careless, and at the least of her profession before working her way through deceit. Even though the character might make many fans uncomfortable, Quinn was hoping that they'd still be able to decide how to work better on themselves without becoming Dani. Many fans could be quick to point out that they don't like a protagonist due to how they've been set up and how they get so many privileges. They can still pick up why they are the way they are and take that lesson to improve themselves. She also mentioned how unsuccessful most films with unlikable female leads are, but with the impression from the film I, Tonya, she was able to pull it off, tackling negative backlashes. One of the messages Quinn was also trying to pass across was the reduction of trolls and hateful comments on the internet. She intended for the film to help every internet user be patient, reflective, and not be in a rush to condemn. Most of the time, these people don't even know how hurtful their words are and how they affect their victims. Is it okay to lie and go to extremes to gain likes and attention? Is it fine when a person is held accountable for their actions on the internet? Those are the questions she hopes are honestly answered. But it then goes too far. When Dani's lies were uncovered in the film, she was subjected to heavy doses of insults that put her in bad mental health. It's that fine line between telling someone they did something wrong and not degrading them as a person that Quinn hopes to achieve with Not Okay. She concluded by saying, "Tearing women down on the internet is not always the answer, even though they should be held accountable for their wrongs." Toxic internet addiction. The first thing Dani usually picked up whenever she was awake was her mobile phone, which shows that she was definitely addicted. Quinn wrote Not Okay for people that are like Dani, to learn to be less like her. Many people, if not more than half of the world's population, are addicted to the internet. And the urge to be seen as someone doing something that matters pushes many people into maintaining a bigger purpose than they can handle. Dani tried it with Rowan's projects and ended up ridiculing and hurting her. So sometimes Quinn hopes you don't think your toxic media obsession affects just you. There's so much toxicity people get exposed to on the internet, and as common as this can be, it's not recognized as damaging. Excess consumption of the internet has caused many irregularities and failures in people's lives, relationships, academics, and careers. Quinn isn't the first to recognize the dangers of social media consumption, but she certainly did it justice by writing and producing a film about it. Whatever drives a person to find absolute comfort in social media is usually depression and attention seeking. But the more attention a person gets, the more creative they become to sustain and increase it. It becomes so compulsive that they lie and even create chaotic moments to back up the lies. Quinn mentioned that seeing how regular addiction to the internet has become was one of the reasons she decided on the show. She also said many scammers coming online to lie about accidents and illnesses just to pull off funds and attention from compassionate internet users was one of those things that pushed her. And like many addicted phone users are, Dani became increasingly addicted and hungry for more till it pushed her into a hole she couldn't get out of. Do you think Not Okay has helped you in choosing how you get influenced? Share your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.